Hello from Gamma. I am Lakshman Maaheshwary and today we are going to talk about budgeting in India. Before we begin, let me clarify that the term budget is not mentioned in the Constitution of India. The related term mentioned is annual financial statement. So, what is the need of a budget? The first requirement is taxation. The Article 265 of the Indian Constitution states that no tax shall be levied or collected except by authority of law. Hence, taxation needs approval of the Parliament. Next, we need the budget for approving expenditure. The Article 266 states that no expenditure shall be incurred except with the authorization of the legislature. Hence, expenditure needs approval of the Parliament. And finally, we need the budget for discussion. The Article 112 states that President shall, in respect of every financial year, cause to be laid before Parliament annual financial statement. Let us now have a look at the various documents presented during the budget session. Annual financial statement is only one of the several budget documents presented by Finance Minister. The budget documents presented to the Parliament comprise, besides the Finance Minister's budget speech, the following: the annual financial statement, demands for grants, appropriation bill, finance bill, memorandum explaining the provisions in the finance bill, macroeconomic framework for relevant financial year, fiscal policy strategy statement, medium term fiscal policy statement, medium term expenditure framework statement, expenditure budget volume 1, expenditure budget volume 2, receipts budget, budget at a glance, highlights of budget, status of implementation of announcements made in Finance Minister's budget speech of the previous financial year. Let us now understand the documents presented. The documents shown at serial 1, 2, 3 and 4 are mandated by Article 112, 113, 114, subsection 3 and 1110, subsection A of the Constitution of India respectively. The documents as serial 6, 7 and 8 are presented as per the provisions of the Financial Responsibility and Budget Management Act 2003. The other documents are supporting documents in nature and are explanatory statements supporting the mandated documents with narrative or other context in a user-friendly format suited for quick or contextual reference. Hindi version of all these documents is also presented to the Parliament. Now let us talk about the budget presentation. Until the year 1999, the Union Budget was announced at 6 pm on the last working day of the month of February. This was a colonial practice. However, in the recent times, there have been changes. Yashwant Sinha, the then Finance Minister of India in the NDA government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, changed the ritual by announcing the 1999 budget at 11 am. In 2017, a huge departure occurred from the colonial era tradition of presenting the Union Budget on the last working day of February. Minister of Finance Arun Jaitley announced that it will now be presented on 1st of February. The Rail Budget, presented separately for 92 years, was also merged with the Union Budget. A very interesting ceremony happens just before the presentation of the budget. It is called the Halwa Ceremony. The printing of budget documents start roughly a week ahead of presenting in the Parliament with the customary Halwa Ceremony. Halwa is prepared in large quantities and served by the Finance Minister to the officers and support staff involved. They remain isolated and stay in the North Block office until the budget is presented. It is performed as a part of the Indian tradition of having something sweet before starting an important work. Now let us look at the budget speech. The budget speech of the Finance Minister is usually in two parts. The part A deals with general economic survey of the country and the part B relates to taxation proposals. The Finance Minister makes a speech introducing the budget. In the concluding part of his speech, the proposals for fresh taxation or for variations in the existing taxes are disclosed by him. And then finally, the discussion begins. The annual financial statement is laid on the table of Lok Sabha at the conclusion of the speech of the finance minister. Subsequently, it is tabled in Rajya Sabha. Both houses of the parliament allot time for a general discussion on the budget. Then comes the state of Guillotine. Lok Sabha takes up a discussion on each ministry's expenditure proposals. After this prescribed period, known as the demand for grants, the Speaker applies the guillotine. All outstanding demands are put to vote in toto. Both houses of the parliament discuss the budget while only the Lok Sabha votes on it. Then comes the stage of getting the authorization. The appropriation bill is then introduced after all demands are passed. Once this bill is passed, the government receives authorization to draw from the consolidated fund. When the appropriation bill becomes an act, the finance bill is passed. And finally, once the finance bill is passed, the final budget gets approved. So let us quickly summarize the entire budgeting process. First comes the budget speech by the finance minister. Then the annual financial statement is presented. Subsequently, the demand for grants is made, after which the appropriation bill is passed. Then comes the finance bill, and when that is passed, the budget is said to have passed. With this, we come to the end of this session on budgeting in India. For important terms related to budgeting, please watch our next video. This video was brought to you by Gamma IES Classes. I am Lakshman Maaheshwary. Please like, subscribe and share to keep receiving important updates. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.